Hi guys, so I'm going to show you how you can create a Hockney style effect like this, so using a kind of frame. I'm going to also make another video showing you this kind of tessellated method, but initially we're going to be looking at how to create this frame-like work. You can experiment with the layout, so it can obviously be landscape. The format I've went for here is obviously square, but again, depending on your photograph and the look that you want to go for, your composition, that is entirely up to you. Now, what you will find is in the shared documents, you have this frame, okay? So it looks something like this. So I've got the Hockney template. Now, if you were to print this out, it is 40 centimetres by 40 centimetres in size. Obviously, you can make it bigger. You might want to double it up, have it landscape, obviously have more boxes. That is entirely up to you. So, first thing we do is I have opened it up in Photoshop. I then have my image. Now you can do this in a few different ways. You may want to have several images. You might want to have the one. I'm just going to look at using the one image. The technique is going to be exactly the same. So I have my image in here. I have my frame. I'm going to make sure I'm on the selected image, so it's obviously highlighted in a slightly lighter grey. I'm going to then use my marquee tool, and I'm going to start from the top left and then gradually work my way down. And again, the great thing with this, if we're looking at Hockney's work, it is really quite random. Everything's slightly offset, they don't quite match up. That is the whole look of it. We want it to look as if we've pieced it together. So again, I'm roughly kind of grabbing sections here. So I'm going to go with this one here. So my marquee tool, grab a kind of rough square section. I'm then going to press Command C, Command V, and that'll paste in my box. At the minute it's sitting on top of my frame, so I want to have that underneath. So I'm just going to click and drag it underneath my frame and pop that in there. Now, as you can see, if I zoom in slightly, so Command plus, it is coming out with my frame, which is not what I want. So in this case, I can either resize it. Now, to keep your constraints the same, if you hold the Shift key down, and it keeps the ratio, the proportion of your image correct, you can see it kind of matches up relatively well with the image above, which is not what I want. So I want to make it that little bit bigger, slightly offset. Hit enter, or you can press the little tick at the top here. I obviously want to cut this out now, so I'm going to again go back to the marquee tool, select the area that I don't want, and then cut it out, or Command X, and then exactly the same again. So it is that easy. You can just Command X, cut off the section that you don't want. Again, we're starting to have an image that looks like this. I then go back, make sure I've got my image layer selected, marquee tool again. I'm going to select an area, Command C, Command V. I can take the visibility away from my layer at the top. I'm going to move my layer underneath my frame, and again I can pop that underneath. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger again, keeping the constraints the same. So I want to hold my Shift key down and then hit enter. So again, I really like the effect of it being slightly off, it not looking uniform. You can make them that little bit larger, you can have some that are a little bit smaller depending on the area that you kind of grab from your original image. So again, I'm just going to do it one last time. So I'm going to use my marquee tool, select the area that I want, Command C, Command V, take my visibility away, drag it underneath my frame, and then it can go like so. Now if I zoom in, I can obviously see there's a little bit of a gap here. So again, holding the Shift key down, make it a little bit bigger and hitting enter or the tick at the top, and you will start to have something that looks like this. What you can also do as well, depending on if your image is black and white, you may want it to be all relatively monochromatic and have a grey, black or possibly white outline. In that case, you would just click obviously your little box, what colour you wanted, the paintbrush tool, not the paintbrush tool, the paint bucket tool rather, go to your frame layer and you can click and fill. So again, you can imagine if all my images are in there, it's going to be my photos that stand out. If I want it a little bit more subdued, I can have a grey, or perhaps I want to go totally off the wall and go with a pink. Again, exactly the same technique. So these are ways that you can experiment in your book as well. Always evidencing your process, so screenshotting your work and display. So I would press Command, Shift and 4. A little cursor arrow pointer will come up like this. I would select my workspace, screenshots, and then that's something that you can evidence in your book as well. So I hope this video helps create a David Hockney inspired piece of work.